supposed to meet. Supernatural detective that you spoke to sent you, yeah? Okay. Nice to meet you. Well, that's the place. Impressive, right? Now, I can't give you my name, but I can explain to you a little bit about who I am and, well, what I do rather than who I am. So, I am kind of like a Black Ops guy for the supernatural detective agency, I suppose, that the supernatural detective you spoke to works for. And so I'm sent in to do things undercover, like reclaiming stolen goods by stealing them back. Many other things, many secret missions, magical missions. So why are you here? Well, that's interesting. Okay, so I heard about what happened at the bank, and I heard about how you witnessed the burglary of the crystal. Okay, so how do I explain this? So I don't want to scare you, but Mr. Panacio, you remember that name? Well, he didn't actually want to leave any witnesses around, and he did try and dispose of you and the other members of staff there, but he couldn't. Do you know why? Because of you. There's something special about you. You stopped him, and we don't understand why. But we do understand that you are a valuable asset to our organization. And we're very pleased to have you with us. I think perhaps you should start a new career. Maybe leave the bank behind and come and work with us. I promise you it's far more interesting. An adventure. What do you say? You'll think about it. Okay, I understand. We'll be doing lots of stuff like this. Don't worry, I'll protect you. Now, the reason you're here is because I don't think he's in, but if he is in there, I haven't got the power to stop him on my own, although I am very powerful. But we figured if you're with us, then, perhaps you won't be able to dispose of me. So, let's say you're like my protector. Now, I'm not entirely sure where the crystal is, so we might need to do a bit of searching around. I do have a few magical spells to help us, so that we can remain invisible once we're in there, but we have to get in there, and he has a few security measures. So, the first one is pretty crazy. It's, I don't know. Okay, it's a zoo. Yeah, you heard me right, a zoo. So, the castle is surrounded by a magical zoo. I know. What? And basically there are different magical animals. They're kind of just normal animals, but he's like putting magic spells on them, so they can do things to protect the castle. And the trouble is with that is that some of those things are a little bit dangerous. So yeah, I just run you through the different things things, yeah. And then, you're gonna have a bit more of a prepared mindset, okay? So, I'll start with the gorillas. The gorillas, yeah. So, the gorilla can remove its shoulder. Yeah, the shoulder section. Right? Right? And then it can remove one of its arms. Take the shoulder. Yeah, I'm serious. And it can bat the shoulder with the arm at you at high speed. Right? Then the shoulder reappears magically and it takes it off again and boom. Takes it off again, boom. Takes it off again, boom. And it just keeps doing that, and you've got a thick muscular shoulder from a gorilla. Exactly, flying at you at high speed over and over again. Really dangerous. Yeah, I know. Welcome to the supernatural, my friend. Welcome. Gets far stranger than this. Yeah, so that's what the gorillas do. I've dodged a few gorilla shoulders in my time, let me tell you. The giraffes. Okay. So the giraffes can actually remove their neck and throw it at you like a spear. A big, thick giraffe neck spear. I know, it's like, what? But this, you're going to have to get used to this if you do end up working with us, because this is like standard. You know, as I said, I'm sure the supernatural detective who spoke to you explained, you know, there's two worlds. There's this world that you see, and then there's the hidden world, which is the one that we're exploring right now, you know, and it's merged into the normal world that everyone sees. Yeah, so the problem is it can be a bit of a lot to take in when you first come into this world, and learning about giraffe neck spears is one of those things that can take a bit of getting used to. The giraffes will throw these neck spears at you very quickly, and their head will actually fly around looking for you, whilst the body continuously throws the neck spears as they continuously magically reappear, and then it's like, and the head is flying around looking for you. Yeah. Yeah, so between that and the gorilla shoulders, it is like, you could have some good reactions, you know. I mean, the key really is to not ever alert them in the first place, which is why we're going to try and get in there really quietly, you know. But if just be aware that that may happen. The crocodiles. The crocodiles. Yeah, the crocodiles. That's not good. Okay, so the crocodiles will actually remove their head and then open up the mouth like this, and then it will fire the teeth at you in quick succession, a bit like a gun. Yeah, there's sharp teeth, so you'll have sharp teeth flying at you at high speed, and the teeth will keep reappearing, and they will keep flying towards you. Very dangerous. What I would advise is, if you do have a neck spear lying around that missed you, or a gorilla shoulder, possibly to pick that up and use it as some kind of a shield. I mean, you know. Trying to think of like, you know, those things they have in submarines that can see. That plane must be one of his helpers back from a mission. They won't be able to see us, it's very dark here. But we have to be careful, we can't risk being spotted from above. It's the last thing we need. Yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, the rhino, yeah, you know, the thing in the submarine and you can see through it like that. I forget what it's called, something scope. Well, what they do is, the rhinos, they can see out the top of the nose, the horn, like an eye on it. And then what they do is they like bury themselves underground, they can tunnel around. And then they can see you. So all you'll see is a little top of a horn with an eye on it. And you'll be like, what is that? And then suddenly, boom, a rhino jumps out from under the ground and starts chasing you. I know. Yeah, it's quite a sight. Certainly gets you going. The lizards are particularly creepy, and the reason for that is because they can camouflage into the trees. Now, I have had a little look around this area, and I think we're okay. But just, you know, do be careful, because you really will struggle to see them. In some cases, the lizards can actually look like an entire bush, and then the bush kind of forms back into a lizard. A lizard will jump on you and start to I don't know, attack you in some way. They'll also make a shrieking noise that will alert the others, so you'll have a lizard on your head that was a bush. And then you'll have rhinos charging at you, and neck spears, and gorilla shoulders being thrown with crocodile teeth coming at you from all directions, and that's not fun. Okay. Just trying to think of some other things to warn you about. It's going to be fine, don't worry. The castle itself. So once we get past all that, and that will be absolutely fine, the castle has actually got an inner wall with a little garden around it. Okay, in this area there are lots of magical snakes. Yeah. Now the snakes have wound themselves together to look like benches. So whatever you do, don't sit down. And they will keep an eye out for you. So if you see a bench, just like be very careful near it, because they might jump on you and then wrap around you and constrict you. What I would advise doing is just stay close to the wall and not to the actual building until we're ready to go in. And definitely don't, sit down. There are a selection of sparrows in there that are very cunning, because sparrows aren't particularly aggressive or frightening birds. What they'll do is they'll come and sit on your shoulder, and they'll try and tell you that they're your friend and they've come to help you, that the agency sent them. That's not true. Sparrow trickery is a common thing from Mr. Benaggio. I would honestly never trust a sparrow again after some of the experiences I've had. What I would advise is that you tell the sparrow that you will report them to the higher magical powers. That really frightens him, you see, and that's because the sparrows, they were supposed to be neutral, and often they just end up going on the bad side, and if the higher powers in the good side found out the sparrows would be a lot of trouble, so they will leave you alone if you say that. You know, they're ultimately, they're mercenaries really, they're just after a bit of money, so they're not that bothered if we get in there. I don't think Bellagio listens to them that much anyway. It's more of like a scare tactic, so yeah, just tell the sparrows not to mess around and they should leave you alone. When we go in, there is actually a pair of talking slippers which will be walking around the lower hallways. They're not overly bothered, they're more bothered about keeping the carpets clean. I've been in it before. They're indifferent really, they're just there. No one even wears them anymore, they just walk around making sure the carpets are clean. So I've actually got these as plastic bags, and what we'll do is we'll put these over our shoes so that we don't get any dirt on the carpets. Because he won't say anything, but you upset a pair of slippers that's trying to keep the carpet clean, and then it's going to be them shouting at us, and that's going to attract attention. So I really don't want to do that. Once we are inside, I think he's hidden it in the middle of the house because he probably wants us to think it's hidden in the basement. Yeah, but I reckon it's in the middle. So I say we check there first. If we need to check the basement we can, but I think we should check the middle first. Because to be honest with you, I don't really want to spend any longer in there than I have to. The carpets on the first floor, not on the ground floor, but on the first floor, they actually look after themselves. I've actually arranged with someone I know who deals in carpets. They sold the carpets there, and they're actually going to speak to, or they've already spoken to the carpet on the first floor, and he's agreed to keep quiet as long as we don't make any noise or like dirt on him. He's not going to cause the alarm, so he's been paid off. Yes, a talking carpet, yeah. Not all carpets are talking carpets, that'd be silly, but some are, yeah. Now, let's say we get in there and we get it without a problem. Once we get out of there, there's a tree round here that I've known for years, and he's been doing flying lessons. He's got certain branches he can flap up and get us out of here. So we climb up, we sit on the lower branches, and the higher branches will flap up and then flies away. Don't be alarmed, just cling to the main trunk and make sure that your legs are wrapped around the trunk, the branch that you're sat on, so that you don't fall off. I'll keep hold of the crystals, you have to worry about that. Yeah, I think that's it. Stay close to me, yeah, because we're going to now try and get in there without alerting any of the magical animals that I mentioned. And if this goes well, you know, as I say, please do consider joining the organisation. Okay, let's get going.